Here's Rineman in the Morning, on demand from 102.1 and 105.3, The Shark.
Remember how Conan used to hang out with Mr. T on his show? And you said this should not work out, but for some reason it did? Well, that's kind of how I felt while I was talking to Bret Michaels. He's coming through New Hampshire. He's bringing a big tour up to the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion in Guilford. It's the Party Gras Tour 2023. And as it turns out, we got along great. In fact, we have something in common. So I hope you enjoy my conversation with the one and only Bret Michaels. Please welcome to Rineman in the Morning, the one and only Bret Michaels. How's it going, Bret?
I am doing awesome, man. How are you doing, my friend? And I just want to say, as I say good morning, I also want to wish you an incredible happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, your family, and listeners.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say. And I was going to ask, how's your holiday season going so far?
It has been incredible. I'm not lying to you. I got to enjoy it all with my family and everybody over Thanksgiving, and we've been out on the road touring. Of all things, I'm getting ready to do a big charitable event this weekend with Pitbull and Flo Rida. So
wow.
We're all going to be together jamming. And when I say Party Gras, I cannot tell you the amount of great people I've got to perform with or share the stage with on every aspect. You know, one night it's Jimmy Page and Jimmy Buffett, and then all of a sudden I'm with, just hanging with friends from Saliva, Josie, and it's just so many different artists throughout my career. And that's what this Party Gras, Mardi Gras was based on, having a good time, playing music, and everyone just coming together for a night of all killer hits.
We're so happy to have you coming to New Hampshire. What are some of your favorite memories of playing here in New England?
I can give you 1,000 of them. First of all, let's start just this last summer. The positive energy, the raw hits, being out with Poison and singing all those hits. 2 nights at Fenway, that was incredible.
Yeah.
One of my very best friends from life, right, for life, lives in Boston, right, in the Boston area,
yep.
But in New England. And I just want to say this, I cannot explain to you, because I always bring my mountain bikes, my dirt bikes, everything with me, and we have an incredible time. But my best buddy was a drummer, and we used to be in my water-soaked, sump pump backed up basement playing music. And I'm as passionate about playing it today as I was then. And some of the best memories I have, honest to God, is partying with the fans, having a great time. When I was just up there with you before the pandemic hit, we were up there with Poison, and it was such an incredible show. I spent the day out hanging with fans, getting to meet people. And that's what this Party Gras is based on. It's based on them from the moment they get there. We've got great music playing. We treat people great. We see them, a lot of beads and bandanas going out to everybody.
Yep.
And I'm not kidding you. We have a contest, a Dress Like Bret karaoke contest, where they get to literally in the pavilion. One of them will be chosen to come up and sing. Wow. We've got the Bretty bucket, which is like this old Nerf basketball hoop.
Yep.
And if you ever watch my shows like Rock My RV, I'm fairly mechanically inclined. Yep. I built the Tiki Hut golf cart. So we're whooping around the parking lot. People that were like, hit it, and we throw them the ball. If they can hit it, they get 2 backstage passes.
That's awesome.
Make this great.
Well, you brought up a good point, because you have this infectious energy, and it's all about partying and having a good time. But you also mentioned the pandemic, so we all had to stay inside and everything. Was there anything new? Did you take on any new hobbies? What does Bret Michaels do? And it's like, you can't go out and party and have a good time. You got to find a way to make your own fun and get through it, you know?
All right, so here it is. As a father of 2 kids, knowing we were dealing with this, I have my main property is a ranch. So on the ranch, here's the blessing with or without the pandemic. I'm an outdoors guy.
Yeah.
So we've got a motocross track. We've got go-karts. We have all this stuff. Basically, what I did is when it first hit and we all didn't know what was going on, I said, here's always been my mentality as a type 1 diabetic, right?
Yeah.
I said, we've got to adapt. We have to figure out how to stay healthy, but adapt. And I said, we're going to take the attitude of victorious, not victim. In other words, I always kept the hope that we're getting through this. There was never a thought where I thought we're not going to get through this. And I know this, it was what happened during the pandemic is horrific, right?
Yeah.
And we're all starting to come out of that. But I always kept hope that that's what would happen. But keeping busy, you're going to laugh. I did a lot of virtual concerts, full concerts.
Yeah.
In my studio. Like,
oh wow,
people would tune in, and there would be a concert. Then you're going to laugh. I painted. Don't laugh when I say this. I repainted my entire sport court. Don't ask why. I just went down. I said, you know what? I just threw a bucket of paint. I said, this thing needs done. I started
That's awesome.
painting stuff.
So Bret Michaels.
I don't know why. I just started. The kids are like, Dad, you're painting furniture. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm just keeping busy, man. I'm gonna keep the mind percolating.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to run ads for your painting company whenever you're ready.
Yes.
Well,
I'm not good at it, but it was fun.
Yeah. One thing I know about you, and this comes up every year, you and I were birthday twins. We have a March 15th birthday. And so are you
the Ides of March?
That's what I was going to ask. Do people come up to every time you say your birthday, they go, and how do you respond to that? I mean, to me, all my life, the Ides of March. What do you say to them?
You know what I say? Every time I hear this, I switch to a different thing. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
We were also born on a day called the Heights, right?
Okay.
So I know Ides of March, for those curious, is A2 Brutus.
Yep.
You got stabbed in the back. Caesar stabbed in the back by his best friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other side of that was a thing called the Heights. We're born on one of the only days, ready? One of the only days driven to succeed. So Pisces, by and large, are creative. Like, we're creative, but kind of really, a lot of my friends in March born Pisces or late February are laid back. They're creative, but don't have the drive to see it through.
Mm-hmm.
We possess this thing called the Heights to drive us through. And Mark McGrath's born on the same day, if I'm not completely mistaken. Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
Oh, wow.
I'm from Pittsburgh, so Mike Tomlin, the coach of holding one of the most winning records, coach. And we're going to get there this year. Yeah. But it's I'm just saying, all born on that day with you and me. So there must be some magic somewhere in there that's true with the Heights.
Yeah, I love it. It's Judd Hirsch. He's that same day. Mike Love from the Beach Boys. Yeah, there's all sorts of people on March 15th.
Yes.
It's a big day.
We flipped it into being a good day.
Yeah, I love that. The Heights. That's what I'm going to say from now. When people say the Ides of March, I'm saying, you mean the Heights. Bret Michaels told me.
The Heights of March.
The Heights of March. You've had such an amazing career. Obviously, you blew up in the 80s with Poison, but then like everybody, you had some setbacks. But then not only did you keep going with your music, you had a giant comeback with the TV show Rock of Love. How did Rock of Love come to be? You were one of the originators of the reality TV craze.
This is so crazy how this came together. And it's a lot like Party Gras, right? Mm-hmm. So they're creating this idea with me. And I said, look, I go out on the road. Fortunately for Poison, we have managed to, through thick and thin, stay in the arenas, stay in the amphitheaters, play music. And the same thing with me as a solo artist. I knew when I went out there as a solo artist, you got to be creative. You're going to start back over again. No bitching or complaining, and start back over in the venues, smaller venues, and build your way up. And hard work is how I got there. But when it happened with Rock of Love, what happens, they wanted to create this crazy show. And this was before all of them started really hitting. And I said, look, I asked you one thing. My daughters laugh. I took in a piece of paper that they call it. They're like, Dad, you can't do that. Put it on your phone or your computer. I'm like, they're like, that's like a hillbilly hard drive.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what my kids called it, right?
Right.
I went in with a piece of paper. I opened it up. They're all staring at me. And I said, this is what we could do. How about we just make this fun? We laugh. I said, make this, let it be me. It just can't be my house. It could be the cars, the motorcycles, all the stuff, anything that we needed. But I said, let me take them on crazy fun adventures to win the dates. Let's not just argue at a jacuzzi.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't do that. It's not my style. I'm like, I don't want to sit down and my acting, I need to know this. My acting is less than reputable. I'm not going to put De Niro out of work anytime soon, if you know what I mean.
Well, he's not going to put you out of work either, I don't think.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Fair enough.
Are you ready for a good time? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You talking to me?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
You having a good time with me? Yeah.
It's time for your news on the nines with News Guy.
After pleading guilty to fraud, Real Housewives star Jen Shah has been sentenced to 6.5 years of watching The Real Housewives. Well, I plan to spend this evening watching SmackDown, or as it's also known, The Royal Family. Prince Harry claims that his brother Prince William physically attacked him during a fight. Harry was scared of being punched in the mouth because he's already lost one crown.
And that's your news on the nines. Now back to Rineman in the Morning.
If you took my my acting skills, I said they're less than even remotely reputable. So let's just make it reality. I'll pull up on my Harley, ask the girls, let's go party. Of course, adult beverages don't hurt to make for fun drama. Mm-hmm. And we just let it unleash, and it's now still their biggest, highest-rated show on their network.
Yeah.
We probably could have done 20 more seasons. I just wouldn't have survived.
Well, yeah, that's what you should have put as the last scene. Is like, I just got to bail out of this just for everybody. But speaking of which,
make it. Well, you know what? You see, like the end of a movie, a famous final scene.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make it, Jimmy. I'm not going to make it. Falling out of it.
There's too much love. Well,
too much love going on.
Here's what I love, though. This is what I remembered, is that I recently saw you just a couple years ago. You were on The Masked Singer as a banana. Why a banana?
I just want to tell you this. Let me jump in right here.
Okay.
I love the show. Mm-hmm. I watch this show all the time with my family. I'm like, all of a sudden I get the phone. Literally the phone rings. And then we'll get into Party Gras in a minute, but the phone rings.
Yeah.
And it is literally all the producers and friends of mine from Fox doing The Masked Singer. They're like, they go, you need to come on here. I said, I know the colors I would like to be in. And I said, we talked about ideas. And I said, what if I'm just bandana banana? Right? And they were like, huh, okay. It seems like an odd costume. And it was probably the most fun, sweatiest I've ever been in my life. You really have to sing. Like, there's no faking the singing.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
They track the music you want, and you sing for real. So as I'm singing through that banana hole, my eye hole was my mouth hole, right? I'm not making this up. I'm trying.
Yeah,
I didn't know where I was walking. Like, if you ever go back and watch that show, I tripped like about 40 times. I couldn't see anything. I'm walking around. The microphone is through the banana mouth hole, right? I'm going, that's where my eyes go, too. I can't see anything. It made it funny, but you even see my first night. I'm doing that Elvis song.
Yep, yeah.
I'm staggering around, and I'm literally tripping over the camera guy's cables. It was such a good time.
I just like the visual of a banana slipping. Like, it's just like the tables have turned, haven't they, Mr. Peel?
You're onto something here.
Yeah. Well, let's get to Party Gras.
Where were you when I needed you for the publicity? I needed all these.
Hey, I'm here. I'll be in New Hampshire. And speaking of New Hampshire, you're bringing the Party Gras tour to the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion, July 22nd. And, boy, what an eclectic lineup. I mean, in addition to Jefferson Starship, and then you got Mark McGrath. And then who else? You got so many people. We got
from Journey.
Yeah.
We've got Night Ranger. So let me tell you how this worked.
Yeah.
So the fans know the real deal.
Sure.
I created this literally. I'm going to show you the drawing. When we have a chance, I've got the drawings of the stage I built, the things so that the bands all have a bunch of stage room, the right lights, the right sound. I start out with these, my drawing is horrific, right? Mm-hmm. But I know what I want to do. So I pen this stuff out. Then I personally called every single one of the artists who are all friends.
Wow.
And I said, before we get into the agents and the managers and the this and that, I need to know as my friends, no egos, no attitudes, just a night of all killer hits, no filler. I want the fans to be hit with hit after hit after hit. When we have so Starship starts off hit after hit after hit after hit, big energy, big stage. We take a little break, but that break ain't a break. We're slamming music. We're doing mashup music with you and the DJs and everyone playing. We're doing the Dress Like Bret karaoke contest. Whole bunch of stuff going on. Then Night Ranger plays a full set of hits. And then I hit that stage about 9 or 9:15. And I'm just telling you now, I start out with the Poison hits. Then we have Steve Ajeri from Journey. I go, I want to do one of my favorite Journey songs. Why don't I let the real singer do it?
Oh, nice.
Throw the mic back. He grabs it. He starts singing Journey songs. Then all of a sudden, Mark McGrath's out. Then he throws the mic back to me. More Poison hits. It goes round robin like that until the end of the night when Starship joins us and Night Ranger. And it's the way music should have been. No egos, no attitudes. Just a bunch of bands, fans celebrating the music.
And this is a philosophical one, so bear with me here. Is a rose without a thorn even a rose?
To me, a rose without a thorn is not the truest form of a rose, because life is about the journey of both roses and thorns. That is my philosophical answer. You've got to have the best of both to really build the character as to who we will be.
I got so nervous towards the end there when his phone was cutting out. It was like he was giving me the key to life. And I'm like, please, please hang on. Thank you to the satellite gods. And thank you to Bret Michaels. My guest today is the drummer for one of my favorite bands of all time. They'll be at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion on July 8th with their Last Summer on Earth tour. Please welcome to Rineman in the Morning from Barenaked Ladies, Tyler Stewart. Tyler, how's it going?
It's going great, man. Thank you very much for having me on this morning.
Yeah, I'm so happy. And before we talk music, though, I just have to say, man, what's going on with those Florida Panthers, huh? First they come, they beat up on our Bruins. Now they're picking on your Maple Leafs. Are we going to have a team in Florida with the Stanley Cup? That's not right.
Man, I'm telling you, I think it's some conspiracy on behalf of the NHL that they want these Sun Belt teams to thrive, because the refs, first of all, have put their whistles away. So the Panthers are concussing our guys, throwing them to the ice, interfering, slashing, hacking, everything, and not getting called for it. And, it's a typical, people always say typical Leafs fan, always complain about the refs, but it is terrible how there's actually, two rule books. One playoff rule book where they don't call Jack S word. Mm-hmm. They don't call anything. And, the regular season where it's penalties galore. I will give the Panthers credit for having a opportunistic system. You make one mistake and it ends up in the back of your net.
Sure.
But I'll tell you that, if they manage to pull off 4 straight against us after eliminating the, record-setting all-time Bruins team, then, I guess they have to be taken pretty seriously.
Yeah, hats off. Barenaked Ladies, you're bringing your 7th Last Summer on Earth tour to the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion this July. I saw a video you made on Instagram. You called it not just the best venue, you called it the only venue. Why do you love Guilford, New Hampshire so much?
Well, that's a good question. Now, first of all, it's in a nice location on, lakeside.
Yep.
And, that's pretty cool. But honestly, they pull out all the stops there. They have the best catering in America. Backstage, they feed you like you're a king. They put a pool in. There's a mini golf course.
Oh.
There's all kinds of bicycles to ride. There's a fire pit. There's basketball courts. And it's the best day ever before the show. Usually there's a massage therapist there. It's like you are so relaxed and ready to rock that the shows tend to be rather joyous occasions. So we love the Pavilion, man. We love it.
They got to be careful, man, because sooner or later there's going to be a band that just does like 15 minutes to just go hang out backstage the rest of the time. We're going to do 2 songs and then go ride some bikes around out back.
Exactly. Go sit by the pool with a couple of martinis or something.
Yeah,
totally.
We love you here in New England. We're coming up on a big anniversary. 25 years ago, you guys released Stunt, and 80,000 people showed up to greet you. 80,000 people showed up to greet you at City Hall Plaza in Boston on release day. I mean, when did you first realize this album release party was going to be like an epic, historic event here in New England?
Oh, my God. Like that day, July back in 1998, that was absolutely incredible because we had been in New York that morning doing Carson Daly, the Daily Show, or whatever, not the Daily Show, but Carson Daly on Total Request Live on MTV. Remember MTV Kids? They used to show music videos.
They almost had to the other night because of the writer's strike. They almost said, "Oh my God, we're going to have to play music instead of a TV show."
Yeah. Wow, Lord have mercy. But
yeah.
we were rolling in that morning from New York City, and it was absolutely incredible. Like, there's this traffic jam.
Mm-hmm.
I had taken a nap on the bus, and then I got up. It's like, oh, there must be like a Red Sox game or something going on down here, or there must be, some sort of construction. Maybe that was the days of the Big Dig. Maybe we thought we were being diverted somewhere or something. But no, turns out the traffic, lo and behold, was for us. People coming to City Hall to see our little band. Now, what started as an in-store at Newbury Comics moved to outside Newbury Comics to they're going to erect a stage maybe in Boston Common to us, the mayor saying, "Oh, you can play at City Hall," and friggin' 80,000 people show up. I have a picture of that mounted in my office. There's people in the parking garages behind City Hall Plaza. There's people in trees.
Yeah,
it was insane, man. It was one of the greatest days of my life. It was really, really cool.
Well, I mean, you guys had been like touring going around for like a decade. You made it big up in Canada. You'd been trying to break in here. Conan O'Brien, another New England guy, had you on his show a bunch of times. And just what did it feel like when you finally look out and it's Barenaked Mania? Like, you're like, oh my God, we're here. Did it hit you right then, or was it like we have a show to play right now?
Well, and not only that, we were like playing kind of in a small acoustic setup.
Yeah.
We didn't have our full gear. We're all wearing shorts and just like regular guy clothes.
Sure.
It was nuts. It was crazy. And then we ended up signing autographs till it got dark. I think the gig was like somewhere around noon or 1, and we ended up staying till late into the evening signing autographs at a table. And I couldn't really explain it. It was just so exciting. Boston has always been, and New England in general, has always been like bare naked country.
Yeah.
We've always done well in the surrounding area, and we couldn't be more grateful and thankful to the fine people of New England for really pushing us over the top.
Well, let me ask you about that, because New England, globally, I should say, like, kind of has a reputation, for being a little grumpy, a little crusty. Why do you think we fell in love with the excitement and the fun of Barenaked Ladies?
I think, it had something to do with our approachability, perhaps. We seem like regular guys that you might want to hang out with. And that was the way it was on stage. It wasn't like we were performing down to the audience, like, hey, look at these gods up here. It was more like, hey, we're all hanging out together, happen to be playing music, singing about ridiculous things, and having a great time together. So I think there was that appeal. Plus, I think at that time, the sheer number of colleges and universities in Boston and in New England in general, I think we just hit the demographic perfectly. And, we had young people totally into the band. And the great thing is a lot of them have stuck with us over the years. So they're bringing their kids now to the show.
That's who I am.
And,
I have to just say on a personal note, it was so great rediscovering you guys because, I was one of those stubborn, hurt feeling people, back, 2009, whatever, on both sides. I just said, this just hurts too much. I just can't. And then I have a 6-year-old.
I have
a 6-year-old daughter, and she listened first to your children's album, and then she got into Detour de Force, and that's like her favorite album of all this. That and Thriller are her two favorite albums. And she loves you guys. And when I took her last summer to see you guys, it became the Sadie dance part. People were looking at her because she knew all the words to Roll Out and Good Life and everything like that. And that's when I got it, where I was like, oh, like I get to fall in love with these guys again through a different set of eyes, which I think is so cool. And I thought that album, one of the best you guys have ever made. It was just perfect. So well done.
Hey, that's a great story, man. I'm going to tell the guys that one. I think that's really cool because, obviously we pride ourselves on, doing a good live show. And ultimately, we want people to come out to the show, have a great time, and know that their hard-earned dollars are spent on a quality entertainment experience. So we're very happy to have bring families together and bridge the gap. And I'm also glad that you gave us another chance. It's been a long time. We've been a 4-piece for 12 years now.
Yeah.
13 years.
Yeah.
And we've put out we've put out 6 albums in that time. But I understand, people have a vision of Barenaked Ladies as the 5-piece from the original, the OG Ladies.
Sure.
But at the same time, the guys who are still here, there's more room for each of us on stage, and we all get a chance to shine a lot more. So the show, I think, is still incredibly, if not more, satisfying for people.
Oh, totally. And by the way, I got to say, last year, I gave it some time away, and when I saw last year, I said, "Oh, they got it." I said, "This is a Barenaked Ladies show." It was start to finish, funny, fun, so much energy. People go, they hear 1 week, they hear The Old Apartment, $1 Million, Pinch Me. But a cool thing you guys do at the end of every show, you do a medley of songs, and then it ends with The Tyler Show. Can you give us some spoilers? What can we expect to hear in The Tyler Show this summer?
Well, it's funny that it's called The Tyler Show. I mean, you must have seen a set list of ours because that's what the guys started printing that at the end. You know what's funny about that is it got its name. When I come up from behind the drum kit and kind of surprise some people with my rather rock and roll vocals. We did a tour with the Violent Femmes, and we love those guys. And the bass player Brian Ritchie, his wife Veruni, actually coined the name The Tyler Show. He said even when when the band was done and they were chilling backstage or having dinner or whatever, she said, "I always try to make it out front for The Tyler Show." And the guys laughed, right? And then it started to be listed on the set list as The Tyler Show. Hilarious.
Let me just give you one suggestion for The Tyler Show. A song I heard
absolutely.
Somebody's Watching Me, Rockwell. I heard that and I said, man, that is such a Tyler song. I said, you could sell the hell out of that. Anything that gets you closer to a moonwalk on stage. But the whole narrative of that, I was like, oh, Tyler can nail this one. The last Summer on Earth.
That's funny.
The last Summer on Earth tour always has such great artists. Who's joining you this year?
What is the actual date of the Boston show?
Well, we have you're in New Hampshire on the 8th of July, and then I think you're in Boston on the 9th of July.
Yeah, that's right. So we're Bank of New Hampshire, July 8th. I'm going to say that on that leg of the tour, we've got Five for Fighting and Delamitri.
That sounds about right.
And so which is great because we've toured with both of those bands before back in the day. That's going to be a lot of hit songs that you heard on the radio in the 90s.
Yep.
You heard on the radio in the 2000s, and you're hearing on the radio still today. And so that's awesome when the crowd can come and get a whole evening full of familiar music and a great show. So we're looking forward to this summer.
Now, I have 2 questions left because I know you have to go. One's kind of a tricky question, but I'll get beat up by my friends from college if I don't ask it. The other one's a nice question. I'll get beat up by my daughter if I don't ask it. You have these great support acts every year. You go out and you do the last Summer on Earth tour. And a couple weeks back, because he was in the area, a guy Steve Page, called into the show. And he had really nice things to say. He had nice things to say about all of you, and I was really delighted to hear that he and Ed have been talking. I mean, that made my heart warm. Is there a world that somewhere down the road, one of the acts on the last Summer on Earth tour could be Stephen Page, and then you do 3 or 4 songs to kind of shut up the romantics that can't get over the past,
I would say that the chances of that are pretty slim, but on the other hand, never say never. It's great. We're very happy for Stephen and the fact that he's got his own career going. He continues to make music. It's all great. And, I think ultimately, both parties are where we should be. We're kind of, it's like the divorce, where like both people are happier afterwards. And that's kind of the situation we're in. And we obviously, it's been a lot of years now. It's been like 13 years.
Well, so, I looked at it to a friend who is still kind of, and I just looked at it and they said, oh, they're both making such great music. And I said, yeah, but things had to happen to make that great music. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, it didn't come out of thin air, and it's like, who knows? So, then the last question, and the easy one, this comes from Sadie, age 6, whose first concert was seeing you guys in Guilford last summer, whose next concert is seeing you guys in Guilford this summer. Sadie wants to know, and I'm quoting her, can I be friends with Barenaked Ladies? Can Sadie tell people she's friends with Barenaked Ladies? Tyler.
I say absolutely. Both the band and, when she's a little older, the real one.
Okay, fair enough. For all things Barenaked Ladies, visit barenakedladies.com or just walk up to Rineman and start a conversation. Thanks for listening to Rineman in the Morning on Demand.